But the thing that I consider most is the people that I run with. How does my point guard and the players around me work with the build that I have? All players have room to shine out there. Hey, what's up, YouTube? You already know I'm AllCity with AllCityLiveTV.com, and thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about whether or not you guys should be making a smaller center build over a bigger center build. Which one works better for you guys? And this is all going to be a matter of preference, but I'm going to share my experience because I've played on a multitude of different type of center builds from 6'7" to 6'8" to 7 foot and above, and I'm going to share my experience with you guys to let you know what I think, what's preferable for me and my play style, also which works best with our teammate chemistry, which works best. That's one of the main things that you guys should be considering when you're making a center build, because primarily you're going to shine the most when you have a good facilitator. If you're looking for offense on your center build, you're going to need a good facilitator of that offense. So how is your point guard going to work with your center build out there? Something to consider. Also, if you guys are running with randoms out there, you're having trouble finding players to build chemistry with, you may want to consider joining us on Discord. We have a great community of players on Discord, always looking to run, always helpful, always sharing information. Consider joining Discord. The link for Discord is going to be in the description below. Is also going to be the top pinned comment on this video. What I've noticed so far, I ran with my post facilitator at 7 foot for quite a while. And it's a great player. As a taller player, you get better rebounding animations on a taller center, something that I've noticed as far as running with a taller player out there. But is it worth the limitations that I've noticed in other aspects of the game, like the pick and roll option? The pick and roll option is there, like you're able to actually get the roll, but you're not leaping, like you're not hitting that launch pad to grab the rock and dunk the ball off an alley-oop when you get that pick and roll working. Some of the things that I noticed is that 2K seems to cater to smaller centers. It seems like the NBA is running a lot of small ball out there, and it looks to me like 2K is following in their simulation of the NBA for centers to run smaller ball. You want to run a smaller center, and it looks like 2K is catering to that idea. Run a smaller center, it seems like you get a lot more explosiveness on that pick and roll option, where my 7-footer would just go up like grasping in thin air, like just grasping at the air and not grabbing the ball, even though it's right there for him to grab and dunk an alley-oop. It just seems a little bit goofy out there, as opposed to 6'8", where he'll just hit a launch pad and he grabs the rock mid-air. No matter where it's at, he's gonna catch that rock. Some of the things that I've noticed with the 6'8" as well, there's a lot more speed to cover. In my play style, as far as running center, I like to cover a large portion of that paint and also help out at the perimeter. So I like to be able to kind of cheat a little bit and get back. And some of the things that I noticed with a taller center that has a little bit less speed, they're not able to maneuver as agile as I can with my 6'8". So if you go in one direction, like you go left, or, you hit left, you go 2 steps, and it kind of sways back to get back in position if you want to make a contest into the paint. So you're not able to cheat as much as you would like to kind of help your perimeter defenders out there. And I think there's some of the things that I consider, like when trying to make a decision on whether or not I should continue 2K21 with a smaller center or a bigger center. These are some of the things that I noticed about how 2K functions in particular. Although I created a post facilitator build at 7 foot, I made him with speed, and I made him to be agile at the lowest weight. I made him to kind of cover that space but still be tall. But it's something when you hit that 7 foot mark or 6'11" mark where 2K says, sorry man, sorry boys, you're just not gonna be able to do it, man. And I know a lot of centers out there have different expectations and different standards for what they expect to receive out of their center build. I understand that, and you guys may not be like experiencing the same thing that I am or experiencing it the same exact way, but I want to be able to cheat. I want to be able to dip out a little bit go to the perimeter, and then make my way back to make a good contest in the paint or grab a board. I want to be able to do that. Some centers out there just want to sit paint and let the perimeter guards, like the perimeter defenders, work their way. Meanwhile, the guards are exhausted out there, draining a ton of energy. And there's another thing to consider, because the more that your perimeter defenders have to work on the perimeter for defense, the less stamina they have on offense in transition. So there's another benefit to working with a smaller center, is that you're able to help out the perimeter, stop a few shots, let the perimeter defender catch up without draining too much energy just trying to make a contest on a shot. You're able to stop that and still get back into the paint, where otherwise a bigger center is not able to come onto the perimeter and still make it back in time to make a contest or get a board out there. Like I said earlier, bigger centers, they do get better rebounding animations. You're gonna see a significantly more amount of rebounds coming in your favor. But as far as like the difference, as far as 6'8" and 7 foot, you're gonna see quite a few, like there's gonna be a difference in the amount of boards you get, but you're gonna get so much, in my opinion, I gotta say, in my opinion, you get so much more out of a 6'8" center build or 6'9" center build than you would from a larger center build. And I know you big guys out there, you're like, well, I'm a GOAT on my big man. I'm like, you very well are a GOAT. I'm more of a little lamb on a big man, a 7-footer. I'm not a GOAT, but I feel like a GOAT at 6'8". I feel like my player is responsive. It does what I want it to do. And that's what happens when you create a player to meet your standards. You got to understand also, it's really about, like, by the thing that I consider most is the people that I run with. How does my point guard and the players around me work with the build that I have? If you are a liability to the players that you normally run with, in other words, they got to work harder because you have certain limitations, then that may not be the right fit for your team in general. Now, it may be a work in progress where you may have to learn some stuff, but consider that for a second. Your player may not be a right fit for the people that you are running with. There's some ISO, put it like this. Let me give you a for instance. There's some ISO players out there that want their center to sit in the low block, and that's perfect for like a 7-footer. Sit in the low block while your ISO player is like going crazy. He drives in, and now their center has to make a decision to either guard the one who's driving or guard the alley-oop, where you can catch an alley-oop on the low block, no problem, especially with a taller center. So this is what I mean by, it's really a matter of the players you run with. You want to make a slower moving type of center, somebody that sits in the paint on defense and allows their perimeter defenders to work. And then on offense, they sit low block. They can't really there's not much maneuverability on offense, so they have to run with a particular style of players. And this is where you can really shine. This is what I mean to say, is that all players have room to shine out there. But with the players that we're running with in particular, I think a 6'8" center build works best for me and my team. I just feel like the 6'8" is more explosive. The smaller center is way more explosive, and I think that 2K21 in particular on next gen is catering to smaller center builds more so than they are the big man build. You got like standing dunks broken, which is what a big man is supposed to do. Standing dunks is supposed to be a big man's bread and butter. You got somebody backing you down, you back down. By the time you get an opportunity to perform a move, you got 3 people on you. So the back down in a 5v5 game is not really functioning as it should. And you can't take a 7-footer to the park, but you can take a 6'7" and a 6'8" player to the park as well. So that's another pro for a smaller center, is that you can play on different game modes. I'm gonna rewind this back so we can finish off this video. So those are some of the things that I've noticed on a smaller center build versus a bigger center build. The only benefit that I see to making a bigger center out there is if you're really gonna go crazy with post hooks and you want to actually grab a ton of, like, your priority is to grab boards, then maybe you should should be making a taller center build. If you're not considering anything else, like no offense, no liability on offense, you're not considering any of that. You're taking the approach where you're gonna stay in the paint and make any contest that comes into the paint. Outside of that, the rest of your team gotta handle that. You could make a real big man build, a 7'2", a 7-footer, 7'3". You can do that if that's how you want to play the center build. If you're looking for maneuverability, if you're looking to kind of be agile and cover a lot of space on defense and be agile on offense, explosive on offense, then you're gonna want to consider making a smaller center build. Somebody that, man, my 6'8" playmaking 3-level scorer has a total of 85 badges. Playmaking going crazy, finishing going crazy, shooting going crazy, defense going crazy. So it's something to consider out there. I personally think 2K is telling you guys, make smaller centers. They're much more beneficial for you and your teammates. That's how I feel. You guys let me know how you feel in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, you found this video helpful and or informative, please consider dropping a like. If you're new, consider subscribing as well, as we're gonna have a ton of next gen content coming your way. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.